What's up YouTube? Drew here. We have some big news today as the Disney villains have arrived to Disney's Hollywood Studios. Walt Disney World shared a first look at Disney villains Unfairly Ever After, featuring Cruella de Vil, Maleficent, Captain Hook, and dozens of other Disney villains. This all-new show is going to be officially premiering on May 27th, but in my opinion, this is a major milestone for Walt Disney World in the sense of Disney villains, because this is the first major offering that is going to be here for the foreseeable future, dedicated to Disney villains before construction has even started on Villains Land over at Magic Kingdom, which I will be talking about my thoughts on why Disney is debuting the show now. But with that being said, let's look at Disney villains Unfairly Ever After. So, with the show, we are going to be basically watching the Magic Mirror tell the story. The Magic Mirror is the host of the show, and it's basically about which Disney villain has been treated the most unfairly, which I think is a very fun play on, who is the fairest of all? No, this has been treated the most unfairly in all of the history of Disney villains, and the main three villains that we are going to be seeing appear on center stage, like I've mentioned already, Cruella de Vil, Captain Hook, and Maleficent. But what's important to note is that they are going to basically break through the glass and take center stage in a pretty powerful way, which I am very curious to see how that happens in person, and I am glad that that has not been revealed yet in the footage. While we can see them on stage, we aren't seeing their arrival, which I'm assuming is going to be a pretty cool wow moment, because the teams at Disney Live Entertainment spent 2 years developing the cutting edge stage design, the technology. There was even some hand-drawn animation here done for the show, which I'm a massive fan of hand-drawn animation. So this one I think is just really cool, seeing how much love and effort was put into the show by the teams at Disney Live Entertainment. And fun fact, some of the people that worked on Happily Ever After are working on this and The Little Mermaid, a musical adventure. So for fans of Happily Ever After, well, that's a fun fact for all of you. And then as we are seeing all of these villains throughout the show, at the very end, we are going to have a pretty big finale moment where dozens of Disney villains are going to appear in digital form on all of the screens around the theater. And I am very much looking forward to seeing how the audience decides which villain has been treated the most unfairly, because it's very interactive, with the audience singing along and then at the very end deciding that villain. So that is our first look at Disney villains Unfairly Ever After. I will be at an exclusive preview opportunity for the show, so if you aren't following me yet over on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and Facebook, Drew the Disney Dude, I'll be sharing all of the updates there with all of you, as Walt Disney World's Cool Kids Summer officially kicks off on May 27th, and then later this summer we have the debut of Disney Starlight, which I am so pumped about. But with this show, I am just really happy with how fast Disney Live Entertainment turned this one around. It is so nice to see Disney announce something and then just within, a few months, it's pretty much here. It feels like the show just got announced and now we are seeing the final product come to life. They definitely delivered on concept art to reality with this show. Now, something I do have to bring up, it is the elephant in the room in regards to this show, is that obviously we are losing Muppet Vision 3D, and the Muppets are going to be taking over Rock and Roller Coaster, and this Sunset Showcase Theater happens to be right next to Rock and Roller Coaster. So for months now, we have had this fan theory of, will Disney eventually later down the road, maybe a few years from now, move the Muppet Vision 3D experience into this theater once Disney Villains Unfairly Ever After ends its run. And personally, I think that this is the perfect way to kind of optimize Disney's Hollywood Studios. As Disney is investing billions of dollars into the parks over the next 10 years, in my opinion, there's been a very clear goal, optimization, where if something isn't bringing in guests or bringing in a return on investment, or essentially just making the company money, well, Disney's looking to optimize it by either bringing in an entirely new offering or reimagining it with a new story. And I think that that's exactly what we are seeing with the transformation of Muppets Courtyard into Monsters Inc. Land, as well as the Muppets taking over Rock and Roller Coaster, which kind of, brings up the thought of what everyone has been talking about. Why don't you just put the Muppets into this theater once the Villains show ends its run. You know, we don't know when that's going to be. Disney hasn't even said if this is a limited time offering officially, but it only makes sense with Villains Land coming to Magic Kingdom, you know, in about 5 years, that Disney is kind of getting a test here for this villain show of how people react to it. Especially with this theater being in the far back corner of the park, can they actually get guests to go back here, fill up this theater, you know, 20 times a day, 15 times a day, however many times that the show is running consistently every single day. And that's where it leaves the question of, could they turn this area into a little Muppets courtyard? I think it would be perfect, but my fear is that it's not going to happen, because if you continue to utilize this Sunset Showcase Theater as a flex space, where every couple years you bring in something brand new, well, I think for the average Disney fan, that would get more guests back there than Muppet Vision would, because Muppet Vision has been here for over 30 years now. And while you could advertise it as something brand new for a limited time, you know, once it comes back hypothetically in the future, well, if you're consistently doing new shows like Villains, and who knows what they could do down the road. You know, you could even do a brand new Muppet show, especially with Rock and Roller Coaster having a Muppets theme next door. I just feel like for an optimal operation sense, it would make more sense for Disney to do something new, to get guests back there, which helps the park's capacity, guest flow, balances everything out, you know, especially with Monsters Inc. and Star Wars. So will I want it to happen? I fear that it's not going to happen. But only time will tell with that one. So those are my thoughts on it. But then that kind of leads me to something that I just said, and that is, obviously we have Villains Land coming to Magic Kingdom in the future. So why is this show debuting now? Well, I think that, like I said, this is just the perfect way to kind of give the Disney villains their own moment, see how the average guest reacts to it, and if the ratings are really high, well then, you know, that gives Disney's leadership, you know, live entertainment, Walt Disney Imagineering, all of the confidence to put time, money, and effort into live entertainment for Villains Land, you know, especially connecting it to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party whenever this land officially opens down the road. You know, also, like I mentioned, we have no confirmation of when Disney Villains Unfairly Ever After is going to end its run. This could be here for 2 years, this could be here for 5 years. We don't know that as of now. But this very much seems like we want to put the villains in their own moment, see how people react to it, and then incorporate that knowledge and data that we have from the guests into a massive, massive offering at Magic Kingdom, the world's most popular theme park, with, in my opinion, one of the most asked for, sought after offerings in regards to an entire villains themed land. So I think that this show isn't just, you know, villain show at Hollywood Studios. There's a lot of moving pieces here, and however this puzzle comes together in the future is what I am most curious about. Thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you all in my next video.